do my head toss, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling? Head toss, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling? Woo, child, tired of the bullshit, gone dust your shit.
Follow us on Instagram.
Better follow me
at Philly Jam 95.3 FM.
Welcome to the Real Conversation. This is your host, Jenny from the block. I'm here with my co-host,
50 Shades of Mandy. What's up?
What's good? What's good? Tonight's topic is about self-love. So before we get into that, Mandy, what's been up?
Nothing much. Just work, life. That's it. Adjustment.
Work, life, adjustment. Same here. Like not
Diets.
too much. My birthday was just last Saturday, so
What did you do for your birthday?
man, I turned up. I'm 40, shorty.
As you should.
Yeah, I'm 40, shorty. So, I had to do it up big. I spent some time, shout out to my sister, spent some time with her. They put me in their 90s R&B Jeep. I was scared out my mind, but I made it through. We conquering we conquering goals this year.
Yes, I'm
Conquering
glad you
fears.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, I had a good time though. So I was out with them out there just living it up a little bit. So
Taking
I really
a break.
enjoyed myself. Yeah. The week before I went on a boat ride. So I've been celebrating all month. This month I'm old. I need to go sit down.
Oh, you don't have to sit down yet if you don't want to.
Yeah, I think I do. I think it's
Still
about
party,
time
girl.
to sit down.
Party, because babies come out of nowhere.
Well, I already had my babies. I ain't got nothing else to have them
Oh,
with.
yeah.
So I'm
This
good.
is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
So yeah, we should just go on and get right into the show a little bit here. So for the show I did a little bit of research on self-love. I think people don't talk about it enough, or people don't think about it. I think a lot of people think if you do something for yourself it's considered selfish, when that's not. Like, you gotta take care of you, because if you don't take care of you, you can't take care of nobody else.
Yeah, I agree.
So I did have an opportunity of sitting down with one of my good friends that is also a therapist. She's also the CEO of The Rebirth.
Okay.
She also has a podcast out here at Philly Jamz 953.
Okay.
So I'm going to play a little clip of our video that we did, just, going over what like self-love meant to her. We'll play a song, and then after that we'll come back and talk about, how we felt about what was going on with that.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you for joining the Real Conversation. So tonight we're talking about self-love, and I just want to know, what does self-love mean to you?
Hey, Jen. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me on here. I really appreciate it. So, self love to me is, and I'm not going to say just to me, but in general, self love is about having a high regard for yourself, right? Loving yourself first, loving yourself more than you love others. Right. So it's
Right.
having a high regard of yourself, making sure that you do not allow people to treat you in a manner that dishonors you or disrespects you. Right. So just being
Right.
able to just make sure that you are good, you are complete, you are loved, and you're pouring into yourself. So that is what self-love is. And self-love is very important.
So for a lot of people, it's kind of hard to like put themselves forward and, more so like just love themselves first. So what type of tips or suggestions do you have for people that are struggling with learning how to love themselves?
Okay, so that's a good question. What I would like to do is I want to start with why people have a hard time loving themselves. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and then we can go to how we can improve self-love and overall self-esteem for ourselves in general. So a lot of times people they may not have self-love. It could be from something from their past, from something from their childhood. It could be how their parents treated them as they were growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Sometimes you see kids that were in the foster care system that may have struggled with having self-love because, they may say to themselves, well, if my own parents didn't love me, nobody loves me. Why should I love myself? That could be something. Trauma in general, that can also create the ability to have a lack of self-love. But these
Right.
things do not have to dictate or determine who you are. You can change the way you feel about yourself. Being in an abusive relationship, that can create
Right.
space of not having self-love, right? Or
Right.
in watching someone being abused, maybe seeing a parent that was abused. Also, how was love modeled in your own home, right? Because
Oh,
our
that's good.
parents, our guardian is the first contact that we have as to what love may look like. How does mom treat dad? How does dad treat mom? How does mom feel about herself? So all of these things are modeled for us at such an early age. And it also teaches us how to feel about ourselves. Okay, does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense. Yes.
Okay, all right. So, how do you create self love? Well, I think the first thing is being being okay with who you are. Just being okay with who you are. It's only one of you. You are uniquely made. There is nobody else in this world that looks like you, that acts like you. You are uniquely made. And I don't think people really understand how amazing and special that is. There's only one Jen, right? There's nobody
Right. There's
else
only
like
one
unless you have a twin somewhere. But even if you had a twin and it was an identical twin, there's still only one you. Because although you may look like each other, your
Right.
behavior, your how you do things will be different. Some things may be the
That's
same,
true.
but it will still be different. So just being appreciative of who you are as an individual and know that you are wonderfully and uniquely made. Okay. The second
Hmm.
thing is not allowing people to dishonor you. And what does that mean?
That's a big one.
Yeah.
That's big.
Right, right. So a lot of times we find ourselves in toxic relationships, rather it's intimacy or friendships, or even in toxic relationships with our own family members, right? We can be in a toxic relationship with our own parents, right?
True.
You understand what toxic means and what that looks like? It can be very,
Yes.
very devastating. And you will find yourself in these um, relationships over and over and over and over again with different people because you have become immune to the toxic relationship. It's like a
What
habit.
do you think that people don't realize that they're in a toxic relationship? Because sometimes you'll be in it and be so used to the routine that you don't realize it until you're out of it. That dang, that was toxic. Like that was so bad. Like how
Yeah.
did I deal with that for so long? Is that part of like okay? Is it me just not loving myself enough to just stay in this situation and not realizing it, or is it just like you feel like you can't find anything better?
Yes, absolutely. What people tend to do is we normalize the dysfunction.
Yeah,
We
that's
normalize
true.
it, right? And what is one way that you've heard someone normalize something that they know is not good? Oh, that's just the way he is. Oh,
Yep.
that's just the way she is. He always did it that way. She always do it that way, right? Just because
Hmm.
someone has always done it a certain way doesn't mean that the behavior is acceptable,
Right. That's
right?
true.
So we
That is
normalize
very true.
absolutely, absolutely. We normalize it. Um, a lot of times people know that, okay, I know this is not good for me, but because if you lack self-love, you will tend to think that I deserve that type of treatment. I don't deserve anything better.
So how do you get out of that mindset? Like, so now you're in that mindset, like I know I need better, but I don't deserve it, or you let that person trick you. Like you're not going, like say you're in a relationship and that person's constantly telling you, well, you're not going to find nobody better than me, or you got two, three kids, don't nobody want you, and you start believing that. Like, how do you be strong enough to be like, you know what? Nah, I know I'm better than this. I can do better than that. Like, how do you pull yourself out of that to love yourself enough to know, like, okay, you're not telling the truth. This is not right. I know somebody will want me whether I
Right,
got two kids or 22 kids. Like,
right,
where
right.
does that part come into place? And like, how do you help people get to that place? Like, I can want it for you all day long and I can see you as an outsider for you. But how do you get somebody to accept that for themselves?
Yeah, absolutely. The one thing that you mentioned was, I can want it for you you said I can want it for you all day long, but if you don't want it, it really doesn't matter what I want, right? I'm not the
True.
one that's living in the dysfunction. So a person has to want to do better. They have to want to change. That's like with therapy. When my patients come in for therapy, I always say congratulations for taking the first step, because that is a big step to come in and say, "Hey, life is getting to me and I need some help. I need some guidance." Right?
Right.
So
I feel like that's one of the biggest parts of self love is like if you know you can't handle these situations on your own,
mhm,
um, therapy is a choice to help you love yourself or learn to love yourself. I feel like us, especially as Black women, we like, think that, oh, if I've done that, I am absolutely crazy. I've hit rock bottom. There's no way that I'm going to go do this. And you just continue to tolerate this stuff and like, I'll just make it through, we just survive, and where you don't have to. I feel like people miss that part of the self love. Like that's major.
yeah. Well, I think the thing is when you said, I would be crazy to do this, or I absolutely won't do this. We are so busy focusing on what other people are thinking about us. So the first step is
Right.
don't worry about others' opinions. Don't worry about other people's opinions. It don't matter. They are not living your life, right?
True.
We have to give up the need to worry about how someone is going to feel, what people are thinking, what people are saying. Number one. So don't worry about other people's opinions. Okay.
That's true.
Number two,
That's true.
stop comparing yourself to others. Stop trying to keep up with the Joneses. The Joneses is not even keeping up with the Joneses.
They're
Right?
keeping up with the Instagram Joneses.
Exactly, exactly. And we just had this conversation on our show on the Rebirth, where I was saying how I had took a trip to Dubai and it was with a group of other people, and I noticed, okay, we were all on the same plane, right? We all got on
Mhm.
the same plane in New York, and we all landed in Dubai. Nobody had any cars that we drove over to Dubai, but when it was time to
Right.
go out and meet up, I seen a couple of people had Lamborghinis, had Range Rovers, had all of this, and they were just post up taking pictures as if this was their vehicles. So
Right.
we know the real, but people seeing the pictures on IG, on Instagram or Facebook, in their minds, it's like, oh my God, like they really got it going on. Like, look what they're driving, and
Right.
thinking
In
that
the
that's
land of make
the
believe.
lifestyle. Exactly. And that's not really what it is. So stop comparing yourself to other people. And especially when it comes down to, celebrities, or Instagram models or anything that is, in fame, that's drawing fame, because half of that stuff is not what it really is. And
Mhm.
you will never, I'm not saying that you could never have those things and get those things, because you absolutely
Right.
can. You absolutely can. But you should not feel less than if you don't have them. You
Right.
should be able to love yourself, rather you driving a Range Rover, a Lamborghini versus a Toyota or a Subaru,
Right.
right?
Right. You better treat
So,
that Subaru like it's a Lamborghini.
right, exactly, exactly. So stop comparing yourself to others. The other thing is allow yourself to make mistakes. We're not perfect. We're not perfect. And you learn your biggest lessons through mistakes. So allow
That's true.
yourself to make them. Allow yourself to make them. It's not about failing. It's about what you learned during that time that's going to help you get up, right? So
Right.
that would be the next thing I will say. Another thing is remember your value. Your value doesn't lie in how you look. And I'm going to say that again for the ladies.
Ooh, that was a big one.
For the
That was
people
a
in
big
the
one.
back, your value does not lie in how you look or how your body looks.
Yeah.
This is a really big one for our women. Now, I'm not opposed to what you want to do to your body. You know, if you want to have a little nip tuck there, if you want to do the mommy makeovers, if you want to improve your shape or, you know, whatever, I'm not opposed to do, but do it because it's something that you want to do for you, not because you are doing it for what the culture is showing. You know, everybody has
True.
big shapely bottoms now, right? So
Everybody went to go see Dr. Miami.
everybody, right. So that's the big thing that's going on right now. And it has been happening over the last few years, right? So if you're going to do that, that's fine, but do it because you want to do it for you, not to keep up with the culture, not to attract more attention, not to put yourself out there as an Instagram model. Do it because it's something that you want to do for yourself,
Right.
right? Because your
And it's, to
value
me, it's the
does
easy
not.
fix. Like, it's not going to last. Like, if you're not doing the extra work to maintain it, you then wasted $10,000 to be fat next week because you still eating cheeseburgers when you come back. Like, do it for you. Like, I'm all for that. Do whatever is going to make you happy. And I'm not opposed to it, but like, I just don't see the point if you're not putting in the rest of the work. That's
Yeah.
not going to fix your problem.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And then the other thing is, again, and I touched on this already, is don't be afraid to let go of toxic relationships. You have to learn to give the gift of no.
Mm,
Give the gift
that's
of
a powerful
no.
gift.
It's a powerful gift. And remember, when you're saying no to someone else, you're saying yes to yourself.
Right.
Right? So
Yes.
we will say, we will be yes, ma'am, yes, sir. We will be yes, 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 yes. And as we're saying the yes, just as fast as we say yes to somebody, we're in the back complaining, saying, I can't believe I gotta do this. Well, you said yes. You said yes. So why are you upset? Why are you getting frustrated when you said yes? So learn to give
Right.
the gift of no, because when you say no to someone, you're saying yes to yourself. And that's okay. It's okay to put you first. Again, this is about loving yourself. So don't be afraid to let go of those toxic people and those toxic relationships. Okay. Now, what
Okay.
goes with that is when you're letting go of, why are most people afraid of either moving forward or letting go of relationships? What is it that they're afraid of?
I
What
mean,
is,
I feel like for some it's loneliness, it's the fear of whatever that person's told you is going to come to truth. So, like, if you
right?
told me don't nobody want me, I believe that. So if you leave me, I'm gonna be by myself, and I don't want to be by myself. Where that again, obviously, isn't always true. Or maybe you need time to be by yourself. Being by yourself to me isn't always a bad thing. You
It's
have to get
not
to
a
know
bad
who
thing.
you are. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, excuse me, the word that you said was fears.
Yes.
We are stuck in a lot of situations because we are fearful of the unknown. We will stay in something that no longer serves us because we are fearful of the unknown. We
That is
will
true.
stay in an abusive relationship, rather it's mentally, emotionally, or physically, because we are afraid of the unknown. We have to be able to process our fears. What is it that I'm afraid of? If,
Yeah, I
if
feel
it's
like
the
that's big.
yeah, if it's the unknown could be far more greater than what I'm dealing with right now. What if the unknown turns out to be amazing? What if the unknown turns out to be 6'2" chocolate with six a six pack,
Right?
right? We will never know because we're too afraid to just let it go. We rather
We
say,
sitting over here with Jody.
right,
You stay home with Jody borrowing your car all the time, and Mr. Fabulous over there watching you like,
right, right. So
or for herself.
we have to be we have to process our fears and really just talk to ourselves and just like have that conversation like, girl, what is wrong with you? Why are you tripping? Like, you want to settle for this is what you want to settle for. So
That's
and
my man, and I'm gonna stick beside him.
right, right. And just being able to trust yourself, like I said, to make good decisions is so important. Because when you trust yourself, you also take the opportunity to create your own happiness, right?
Right,
So,
right,
okay, this chapter is ending, but now I have the opportunity to create the life that I want, to create the happiness that I want. And we have to stop thinking that happiness comes with someone being in our lives. You should create that happiness before that person even comes into your life. Because when the person leaves, if he or she do leave, what is the one thing that they can't take from you?
you. They
Your
can't
happiness.
steal your joy.
They can't take your happiness. Why? Because you already had it before they entered in your life. So anybody coming into your life should be an extension of what your happiness is. They should not be your be all. You understand?
Right,
They
right,
should be, you shouldn't depend on them to make you happy. Don't nobody have time for that.
right.
You
Only
have
you
to
can
be
make you happy.
responsible. Right.
Right,
You have to be
right.
responsible of, for your own happiness. So, those are some of the things that, working on will help create self love for yourself, putting yourself first before you put others. It's not about being selfish. It's not about being selfish. It's just saying, hey, I love myself enough that I feel I deserve to pour into myself right now. Doesn't mean I'm not
Right,
going to help you. Doesn't mean I'm not going to love on you, but I need to love on me for a minute.
right. That is so right. Like I've done in the past, like, I've got days where I'll shut the phone off. I'll go out. I've learned to go on dinner dates. I've been to a concert by myself. And like, those have been some of the best times I've ever had. And even with people just in my life, like now I'm gonna do this all for me, by myself. And I've learned that, okay, you start to learn who you are and you can embrace yourself, because how can I be with someone else and I don't know who I am? What am I giving you? I don't know who I am.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So Jen, overall, I mean, I what I would like for your audience to take away from this overall is, even if you don't feel particularly powerful, think about how far you've come, how you survived, the things that you survived. You're here right now, alive and powerful beyond your knowledge. Things that you didn't think you was going to get through. You made it, sis. You made it, brother. Be
Yes.
patient with yourself. Self-love may not happen overnight, but with time, it will settle itself into your heart. It takes time and it takes work, especially if you're a person that has constantly, been down on yourself, right? So, are you going to struggle? Yes, you may struggle, but you'll look back on these moments and see how they were stepping stones on your journey to being the best you. That is what self love is about.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Shay, for joining us. You always have a good word.
You're
I hope
welcome.
that everyone took away the self-love, just love yourself. Like that's all you really got to do, and everything else will come. Um,
Mhm.
you know, like your fly shirt. First love yourself and others will come next.
That's
Like,
right.
oh, I love it.
That's
I
right.
support that
Thank you for
shirt.
the
I
plug,
wear that all
girl.
that time. I wear
Thank you
my
for the
fly shirt all the
plug.
time. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah,
It's all
I
about,
appreciate it.
just knowing you and loving you.
trouble. Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate your conversation on the real conversation.
Yes, you are welcome and good luck with your podcast. I would definitely be supporting it. Do your thing. And, just remember you got this.
Right. And everyone go out and support Shay's podcast as well. It's called The Rebirth. It's on Mondays on Philly Jamz 953. I think you're on YouTube, on Instagram. What is it?
I'm
The
on all
Rebirth
social media. Yep.
.com.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
please go out and support.
Yes.
That's
Thank
what
you
it's
so much.
about.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good one.
All right, Mandy. So
Yeah.
that conversation got deep.
It did. It did. I just wanted to say, first of all, you did a great job on that interview.
Oh, thanks.
I like your questions. I like your sarcasm.
It wouldn't be me. I wasn't sarcastic.
But it was really, really good. Like, do you want to know what I think about it?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, first of all, shout out to Rebirth.
Yes, shout out to Shay. Shay
you're
Marriott.
amazing. And you were hitting major key points. Yeah, self-love definitely comes from within. I think everything that you guys discussed was like head on, but it doesn't happen overnight. And, it may take some techniques to kind of follow, in order for you to like realize like, wait, this makes me happy. So I want to keep doing this, or, maybe cutting people off and just kind of developing the kind of circle that, again, makes you happy. I think self-love is all about happiness, like within. I did think that self-love was a form of self-care, and it is, but I realized that self-care may be things that we might do that might make us happy in that moment. But if I go get my hair and my nails done and go get my makeup done, but I'm looking in the mirror
But
and
that's
I still
self-love.
don't feel, but I'm saying if I'm looking in the mirror and I still don't feel like I'm beautiful, I still don't feel like I'm smart or intelligent, or,
Right.
then that's where